The month it came and it went, and I still ain't got more than a penny saved up yet. $500 that I hold for the rent, and I still ain't got more than a penny saved up yet. Ain't got no nickels, ain't got no dimes. Rent's due tomorrow and I'm all out of time. First of the month, it came and it went, and I still ain't got more than a seat up yet. $500 that I owe for the rent, and I still ain't got more than a penny saved up yet. Ain't got no nickels, ain't got no dimes. Rent's due tomorrow, and I'm all out of time.
All right, here we go. All right. A little intro there. Still trying to work everything out and discover how to do the do. Um, yeah, so what I'm trying to do here is I'm a big fan of a handful of creators, and as partly a way of just kind of gleaning how they get to where they arrive to, and with this side thing of like, oh, what can I learn from that, but then also intuiting that to anybody who might be watching this, the idea that they would learn something as we all learn something, which is learning is a huge thing to me. And so, and I got an education background, and so that stuff is very important to me. So um but my work schedule is really bad, so I guess I'll just talk about all the guys or all the peoples that I really respect their work a lot. So the Artifice guys, Vic King, Smirk the Alien, Manticore 2.0, they're working on a project called Artifice Reanimate. um cyber Cyberpunk sci-fi kind of stuff, really great stuff. Oh, there he is. Oh, here we go, there he is. um
Hello, Mr. Jack Savvy.
Oh man, hold on a second. Hold on. Let's get a little face to face here, bro. There we go. There we
My
go.
goodness.
Oh boy.
I've never seen
So,
your face before.
oh
What a,
really?
what a
I
surprise.
um well, I tell you what, man, I'm a huge fan. I saw that completed black and white you threw in the deal the other day. Good stuff, man.
Oh, the first page, the Buckler first page.
Mhm. Is that the second book you're working on?
Yeah.
Hmm, that's
Second
awesome.
book is going to be completely traditional.
Okay. Okay. Now, I've kind of joked a little bit here and there about kind of giving you a bad time about keeping it black and white. I mean, you're probably going to color, right? Is that what you're thinking?
I don't know.
Still chewing on it.
Here's the thing. I don't I don't like my own colors that much.
Okay. Did you color
And
the first book?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
And it came out how I wanted it to come out. Yeah, hold on a second. So, one of the main problems was that it was coming out too bright.
Okay.
But when you're looking at a digital screen, it's brighter than when it
Mm,
prints.
yep.
And they were telling me that, and I was like, okay, so I'll leave it a little bit bright because I wanted this book to be really, really grungy and dirty.
Okay.
Because he's very much a very street level person,
Hmm.
um, and he's a bad guy on top of that. So it's like I wanted it to be. I want you to be able to look at these images and like almost smell the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's well, I love that. That's part of the reason why I'm kind of into Zipatone, and my style that I kind of go for is I want my page to I want the reader to have something that as close to what just came off my desk as possible. And I think something that you really nail, and I think we talked about that before. I love the buckler's facial expressions,
Mhm.
and I can, you know how people talk about like I can hear your look, I can feel your look. When I look at the buckler, just like that little lip curl he does, or that kind of curling up a little, it's amazing. I could like that guy could make a look at me, and I would feel as just like, oh yeah, I'm about to get cleaned up. I just yeah, yep. I can't say enough
I
about that.
like the little subtleties that people do, especially because I'm a really big fan of bad guys in media.
Okay,
I like Doom. You don't get no facial expressions from Doom,
right, right.
but you can feel his presence. You know what I mean? But even somebody like Tony Soprano, right? One of my favorite things that they would focus on with Tony Soprano is they would do the when he's out of breath
Oh,
because he's so fat. You know what I mean? I love that shit.
um,
And so I wanted to
yeah,
give the Buckler little mannerisms. Like you never. I keep telling people do fan art of the Buckler, and it doesn't look right because people do fan art of the Buckler in a heroic pose.
right,
Not a hero by any stretch of the imagination. He's
right.
straight up villain. So when he stands, he slouches, unless
Hmm,
he's deliberately trying to make you feel small. Then he'll, you know,
right,
but he'll
right.
never do the this. He always does the this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
well, and that's part of the reason why I love crime noir and why I'm writing that because I my guy for my book is he's not a bad guy, but he's not necessarily a good guy. And the thing that I love about crime noir is often your heroes are so flawed that they're just barely distinguishable from the bad guys, and
Mhm.
that's the thing I love about it. Um, so you were talking about Doctor Doom, and um,
This is how
Leba-
dark it came out.
oh
It's
wow,
perfect. It came out perfect. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Because it was
um,
way brighter than this on my screen, and I was like, "It's too bright." And they're like, "No, it'll be dark." And I was like, "But it's so damn bright when I'm looking
mm.
at." It.
That's one of the really good promo images. There's something about um, when you have sex in a comic like that and you make it kind of dirty like that and he's sitting in the foreground and it's like it's just a good layout. I that's one of your promo images of those two chicks, and that just like I can smell the bar that they're leaning on. I mean, that's good stuff.
Yeah, I like how that came out. And some of the stuff came out a little bit darker than I thought it was going to. Particularly this double splash page, that one.
Okay.
But it's still it's in the area that I'm okay with because it's
Okay.
I didn't want it to be bright. This came out really good. This was one of the images that I really liked where he was like going buck wild,
Okay.
and I put a little bit of an effect on it to make it look like it's almost shaky, like he's coming at you, like out of focus a little bit,
Nice.
and it came
Nice.
out solid on this one. Check this out.
Okay.
Like that's not out of focus because it's clearly in focus, but it's just shaky looking. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I like the way that came out,
I think it's good
but
stuff.
very happy with it.
Uh,
I
it's
just wish they didn't come damaged.
some of them came in beat up.
Oh, all of them. So I'm getting them all redone.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there was a problem with the shipping. I guess they stopped and played a game of soccer with the boxes
Mm-hmm.
before they delivered them.
Oh, that's a bummer.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Carol's Cookies. I'm watching, but I'm a lurk. I know how to behave. Oh, I appreciate it. So I want to go something back to that you mentioned. I think I don't know why there's not more stories on him, or I'm not necessarily a big movie guy, but Doctor Doom. My dad grew up as a big Fantastic Four guy. He grew up in the late '60s, and he took all of his brother's comics, but Doctor Doom is his favorite villain. And what was that run where Secret Wars. I got the cover where Doctor Doom's all beat up and just and my old man loved it. I got lucky. I just thought it was a cool cover to give him for his birthday or something, but he loved it, and it just so yeah. Is Doctor Doom one of your favorite guys? Then is that? I mean, did you kind of grow up reading that, or what? You just
I grew up. I didn't grow up reading the Fantastic Four. I didn't like the Fantastic Four. Simply because when I was coming of age for comics, I was born in '84, so I'm very much a '90s kid, right? I didn't even know how to read until like '91. So, so that was when I was kind of like cutting my teeth. And at that time, I was super into Ghost Rider, the Sabretooth run shots, the Wolverine, stuff like that. I liked the stuff that was super edgy and badass. The guys that smoke cigars and all that jazz. I didn't like the Fantastic Four. They seemed too like cookie cutter, right?
Clean. They were too clean.
Yeah, the goody two shoes.
Right.
And it wasn't until later on that I actually started like appreciating the Fantastic Four and how great the dynamic was with them and how they were seen as. And I always, when you're not into something but you're in the same community, people talk, right? And I would always hear secondhand, third hand about Reed Richards, and you're like, oh, I wish the Fantastic Four was here, and I'd be like, for what, right? And then when I started reading Fantastic Four stuff, I was like, oh yeah, these guys are great. This is fantastic, wacky adventures. And that's when I got into Doom.
Okay.
And that was I wasn't maybe 15, 16 by that time.
Okay.
And then one particular book, people were telling me, read this book, because me and my cousin Ray were real big fans of Doctor Strange. And it was the crossover book that Doom and Strange and Mephisto had, where they go to hell to get Doom's mother. And it was it was the greatest thing I ever read, because I already had in my head the cartoon, right?
Yeah.
Of Doom's voice and how he talked. And so I would always read with that same voice, and Doom being over the top and all of his blustering, and then Strange being over the top and all of his blustering, and then Mephisto being over the top and all of his blustering, and all three of them in the same book. It was amazing. And it was like, this is what a villain should be.
Right.
He's super confident. You don't give a fuck. I'm going to throw this fight, Strange, because you know what? I need you to come and help me. He like put himself down, right? He put himself lower. I'm not going to be the Sorcerer Supreme. You're going to be the Sorcerer Supreme, because I need you to help me, because I need me and all of my knowledge and my skills. And I need you and all of your knowledge and your skills. So we can go down there and we can fight the devil. That's great.
That's
the whole
awesome.
thing was great. And that's what, if people ask me who is the Buckler is a mix of three things. He's basically, I don't know if you're familiar with a television program from the 90s called Married with Children.
Oh. He's Al Bundy.
The Buckler is Al Bundy mixed with Dr. Doom, and mix in a little bit of Jason Statham from Crank.
That's awesome. Like that, just that disaffected, like crabby old guy, but then he has it in him to actually do something about it instead of just.
But he got the get up and go. He's got it in him to do the 4 touchdowns in one game.
My favorite episode of that is the joke about how stupid Kelly was, and there's this deal where Kelly gets on this game show, and it's a sports game show. And so the brothers explaining to the dads, like, listen, Kelly's mind is like a glass of water. Oh, hey, one of my boys I grew up with. Here we go. Anyway, so
and you can't add more without taking out some.
Yeah. and so she's getting all the things right. And then the last question is, what athlete scored 4 touchdowns in a high school blah? And it just pans on Al Bundy's face. And he's like, he just knows that she's going to get it wrong. So.
No, it's great. I love that. I love the whole dynamic of, because like, if you look at the Buckler, a lot of the images I have of him, he's built like a brick house, right?
Right.
But I always wanted to. I don't like drawing rock hard abs on people.
Okay.
So I give him the dad gut. I give him the Kurt Angle, the wrestler, the Iron Sheik, the muscular gut. He has a gut, but it has muscle on it,
Right.
So like that's what I wanted to do, because I wanted to give him the sense of he's not a young guy. He's not, because like I'm an artist and I'm an artist for hire. I'm a gun for hire, right? So I get every day I get messages. Hey, what do you think about my character? You want to go in on me on a project? 50-50? I'm like, no. I gotta get paid for this stuff. But
Right.
I get a deluge of the same type of character. Hold on a second. I got to answer this phone call.
Yeah,
It's
no
my
worries.
third time in a row. Hold on a second. Hello? No, when you get here, we'll go. Okay. I'm on a live stream right now. What's up? Okay, bye. My wife wants to get something to eat. But I'm sorry, what was I saying?
I was just enjoying the you just pick it up. Okay, so you get everybody's bugging you to draw the same character, basically is what
Yes.
you're talking about.
And it's the same character. It's always a 18 to 25-year-old, young, cut, very attractive, muscular guy. He has some sort of quirky hairdo and maybe a arm that turns into a gun, or an arm that it turns into a knife, or one arm that's like a Jax, right, from Mortal Kombat, like that
Right,
kind of
right,
character.
right.
And they rides a motorcycle, and you know, I don't, you know what I mean? It's like over
Yep,
and over again the same thing
yep, yep.
with a heart of gold, you know.
Right, right.
And I'm like, I don't want to do that. And I've been doing stuff for a while now. I've been in the CG almost 4 years now. And it's
Right
like,
on.
I've seen it so many times over and over again. And I was sitting around and I was, spitballing with my friend Rick, and we were drawing shitty sidekicks for his character. Draw a really crummy sidekick and just messing around, which is when I came up with the idea for the buckler.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this idea for a comic book, and it wasn't working out. The character was it wasn't interesting enough. When you the situation has to be very interesting, or your main character has to be very interesting.
Right.
And in all these stories, the main problems that I was running across when I would see these people's stories, they would send me scripts. Hey, you want to work on this book with me? They were uninteresting young people who have no life experience in a world that wasn't interesting enough.
Right.
So I was like, the main way to get people interested in what you're talking about is for your character to be interesting. That's easier than creating an entire cosmos.
Right.
So I gave my guy, I said, you know what? I'm going to give him a very interesting origin story. And he's not going to be young. He's going to be in his late 30s, early 40s.
Right.
And he has baggage, And so
Mhm.
I made his origin story when he was, in his late 30s or mid 30s, where he accidentally committed murder, in cold blood, and he had to get out of town. But I wasn't giving away details. And every time I would take the other book I was working on and started plugging those attributes into the buckler, it just fit like a glove. Everything was
That's
fitting in,
awesome.
and it was like, oh my God, it's perfect. I want to keep doing, everything was fitting together perfectly. I couldn't get enough of it. And he almost just lends himself to like anything you want to throw at him. You can immediately in your head start picturing, oh, this is how he would react. Of course, this is how he would react,
Right.
He's a very simple guy. I didn't want to make him a cerebral assassin,
Well, that seems to me like when people are creating things like that, they build up too much at once. And I guess how I'm writing my stories, and I don't know, I'll take how I do it and ask your version of it. But I saw who's the guy that did Pulp Fiction? I'm
Quentin Tarantino.
Tarantino. So he was talking about that movie, and he says, listen, I wanted to do something. You've seen all of these stories a million times, Big Man's Wife, this and that. But what happens when you continue the story? And that's a little bit what I'm doing. My first story is, and I think you can make it relatable, because the first story is the hero having a drink in the bar because he has to go do something nasty, and he's getting that liquid courage in him so he can actually go through the thing he's got to go through. And that's all the first story is. It's just him making the demons quiet because they follow him around all the time, and that's the only thing that'll make him go away. But he can't stop doing what he's doing, and so
Mhm.
I think people can relate to that. But where does it go? Where does it go after those first steps? And so, like in your crime noir stuff, do you kind of find yourself getting into the tropey stuff, or do you want to take the tropes and break them, or do you want to grow them? I mean, what's
No,
your kind
I am 100% um, of the opinion that I'm not smart enough to subvert tropes.
yeah, yeah,
I'm not a writer. I'm not going to be writing the next great American novel.
right,
I'm not. But what I want to focus on is I want to focus on getting somebody who has a realistic and relatable base character, and then interject stories that are worth telling.
right.
Like I was having a discussion the other day or maybe even yesterday, I forget what it was, with some guy, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll put him on." No, I was talking to Vic King actually, and he was talking about, "Yeah, we'll put him on a boat, and we'll have like 4 or 5
I caught some of that. That was pretty
people come
funny.
on the boat and they'll fight." And I'm like, "No, it sounds like a fucking D&D campaign, right? No, that's to give them not too much more than they can handle."
The
Yada yada
tridents.
yada.
I about lost it when he said that. He's like, "Do they have tridents?"
But it's like, okay, so I have a person, and the person that my character that I'm working with is somebody that will make the decisions that people are normally too scared to make because of social constructs and restrictions.
Right.
He doesn't care. He's on the he's past that point now where he's been caring, and he's stronger than everybody else. There's nobody out there that's as strong as he is. So what do you do with somebody who is stronger? He has the strength of 3 men in a city where everybody has the strength of 1 man. So how do I give this guy a conflict? Well, his conflict isn't physical. There's fighting in the book.
Right.
There is. There's a fight in the book. And the fact is that at no point in this fight, realistically, is he in danger of dying.
Right.
He's just basically massacring people. There's a man in here remember I told you he made a murder in cold blood?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're out there interviewing, they're protesting the buckler, and they're interviewing this man. It's the father of the girl that he killed.
Oh, wow.
And the guy kind of hangs out in front of the buckler's bait and tackle shop every single day. He's a bum. His wife left him. His life's in shambles. And he blames the buckler. And every time the buckler comes around and he's sober enough, he takes a swing at the buckler. He wants to kill him. But the buckler doesn't take him out. He's an asshole. He's a bad guy. But he's not a cold-blooded killer. You know what I mean? He's like, this guy's not hurting nobody. Leave him alone. I'm not going to apologize to him. It's been years, right? Get over it.
Right.
But, leave him alone. But finally, the guy's like, had enough, right? He's like, no, Buckler. And the Buckler's like, you know what? That's it. Leave me alone or you're going to catch it. Make a choice right now. And the guy makes a choice and he fucking catches it. And that's where I think the Buckler's strengths are, is that he doesn't care. It's basically Falling Down, the movie Falling Down.
Right. I've heard you
enough.
reference that before. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he's had enough. And if it's wish fulfillment, right? You wish that you could do these things, and the Buckler does them.
Right.
Because he's willing to, he's ready. If you have a consequence for him, well, come bring it. Let's see how well you can pull it off.
Well, and I guess without giving too much away, where have you built your suspense?
The suspense is playing around with the idea of what the Buckler wants versus what the Buckler needs.
Okay.
Because the entire story, the main crux of this story is right here in this conversation. This is the main part of the story.
Okay.
Not the fight at the end. The fight at the end is just something that has to happen.
Right.
Because of how things have shaken out.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing the Buckler is back in Winnipeg for is something he can't punch and take. And that's basically he's come back to reclaim his family. Okay. He has a wife and a daughter.
Okay.
He's never seen his daughter. Well, he's seen her, but he's never interacted with her.
Right.
His wife was pregnant when he left town. He was gone for 5 years almost. The girl's 4 years old, and he wants a relationship with her, and he wants to get back with his wife. His wife has since moved on.
Right.
And because basically just one night he went out to do his I'm going to be a superhero thing and never came home. And then
Okay.
she read in the papers the next day, Buckler wanted for murder. You know,
Okay. Well,
so
that's a really great setup for that. I mean, that's a really good. I don't know if cliffhanger, but like really like what's going to happen next because that's something. I mean,
because in this
everybody
little book,
got you.
this is the origin story of how he became a villain. See, he used to go out there in nighttime at 10 o'clock and go and pretend to be a superhero.
Okay. Is that the
And
ash can that got all bought up?
yeah, so this is there's a guy there, with his number one fan named George hanging in the window. Like, hey, looking good there, Buckler.
Now, what was it a story that you were working on? Wasn't there the Bucklet that she's interested in him, but he doesn't even
Yeah,
acknowledge she exists?
that doesn't really come about until the middle of book 2.
Okay.
So what happens is like once he goes out there, he really needs his family back.
Okay.
But he wants his family back on his terms.
And that's
He's
the
coming
crux,
back to
right?
Winnipeg because he left town. And again, this is all backstory, right? None of this is actually in the book unless it's very important to what's actually germane to happening right now.
Okay.
But he left, he didn't have any skills. He was basically had the strength of 3 men and no skills.
Right.
So what he did was essentially he went out and got some skills. He went down to Brownsville, Texas, and hide out. He didn't want to go all the way into Mexico, but he went all the way down to the southernmost point of Texas and was hiding out there and got in contact with this guy named Guillermo, Willie Silva, who was a boxing promoter and a boxing coach who had some sons that were, Nancy boys, didn't want to be in fighting, So he took in the Buckler as like a surrogate son. And
Okay.
the Buckler sees him as like a surrogate father because the Buckler got some daddy issues, which he's really going to be working on in book 2. So he trains him up to be a very competent fighter. And when you have immense skill at fighting and also the strength of 3 men, you become a very dangerous person that can handle themselves even against the most super of super people,
Right. Right.
So it's like, imagine somebody with the skill of Captain America or Batman, but with the strength of 3 men, just tearing shit up,
Right. Right.
Becomes a wrecking ball. So when he comes back, he only knows how to do one thing because he was down there and the guy, Guillermo Silva, was in deep with the mafia, the Mexican mafia down there at the border. So the Buckler for 4 years has been essentially muscle for the Mexican mafia.
Okay.
So now that he comes
he
back, he's like, it's time for me to come back to
Okay.
Winnipeg. That's when this book starts. He comes back to Winnipeg.
Okay.
And when he comes back to Winnipeg, he takes over as like, this is what I'm going to be doing now. And he wants everything and he wants it his way. But if he does everything his way, he's not going to get what he needs.
Okay. And that's the crux
And
there.
that's his conflict. That's his main conflict.
Well, I mean, that's the flavors are a little bit different, but everybody can kind of relate to that. It's like I want more time with my family, but I have these other obligations. I want this relationship to be this way, but I'm going to have to give up something, but I don't want to. Or yeah, that's really good stuff.
And I do it over the top because it's a comic book. It has to be over the top,
Okay, so a buddy of mine is asking about, so what is the Buckler? So it's a crime noir story. It's
it's a I would classify it as I'd classify it as a dark comedy.
Okay.
Is what it is. I don't want it to be so heavy-handed with the themes that
It's so
I
gritty
bury
that
myself.
okay.
I try to do the whole thing where I'll give you something serious, but then I give you a little bit of air to kind of let you out of it for a while,
Right.
Because the thing is, the Buckler he's a violent person, but more than anything, it's the psychological violence is what makes
Okay.
him polarizing.
Okay.
Like he's the kind of person that will talk to, his wife and be like all up in her face and sniffing her fucking back of her ear and shit, as he's like giving her the business and talking to her. He invades your personal space and you don't know because he doesn't know. You don't know when you walk in to a meeting with the Buckler if he's going to throw a punch or try to kill you or if he's going to be happy with you and you're going to be fine, you know, because he doesn't know when he goes in, because
Yeah,
he himself is flying by the seat of his pants. He's all emotion,
right.
you know.
There is a guy. Oh man, sorry. I keep interrupted because I'm interested in what you're saying. Keep going but I want to interrupt with like I know a real life version of this guy.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. I know a guy. I know 3 guys. One of them's named Vico. One of them named Fat Matt, and the and the other one's named Dirty Neck Dennis. And they're all the same guy. They're all the guy that you go with to the bar, or you show up at the bar, right? And you're like, oh, fucking Dennis is here. It's gonna be a fucking shit show, right? Like he's gonna do something. He's gonna say something to somebody, and all of a sudden we're all gonna be in a fight.
Dirty
He's
neck
an
Dennis. That's
asshole.
great.
And he
Yep.
throws his weight around. And I want him to be like that. And he doesn't quite get it. You know, he's like, I don't understand why bad things keep happening to me when I go places.
Right.
For some reason, people keep stepping on my shoes. I don't know why. It's you. You're the common denominator in all these bad things happening.
Dirty neck Dennis, man. That's awesome. There's a there's this old cowboy I used to work with. Pretty interesting guy, but everybody said like he was like kind of like a snake. You never knew he was going to strike. I used to work at a grain elevator when I was preaching. I do that full time and then do the grain elevator, and then during harvest it was crazy. But this guy was Doug. Doug was a cattleman who had to resort to working at a co-op, and he all right, and then that you press some button and you don't even know what the button happens to be, and then bam, he just jumps right on you. And he liked me a lot, but he would tell these stories. It's like, yeah, when I was a younger man, we go into the bar and we could see who could eat the most glass bottles. I'm like, you can you can eat beer bottles. He's like, yeah, just crunch them up real good. It's just like, yeah. So
and that's the thing. Like I like playing with that character, that volatile, aspect of the character, because it could be like any interaction you have with him could be your last, because that's the main reason people like to talk about the whole, who would win in a fight. That's everybody's favorite go-to argument when they talk about new characters and stuff, and they're established enough. They say, well, who would win in a fight, your character or my character? And my character will take a life. And that's the main reason why he may not be as strong as your guy, but as strong as your guy is, he's not willing to take a life. Mine is.
Right.
And I don't know. I feel like that's it's not something he takes lightly, but he'll do it.
Right.
Because I mean, to him, every problem is a nail, and he's the hammer.
Right. No, that's good stuff, man.
He has. I gave him. I wanted him to have henchmen. I wanted him to be like a Doom, right? I wanted him to have like Doom bots. I wanted him to have a henchman. So he has 2. He has a henchman named Bull and a henchman named Moose.
Oh, is that the shotgun guy with the gut, or was that for a different story? I might be mixing up your stories, because I think the guy had like a gut. He has a shotgun, and then he's like wearing a vest. That might be for a different story. I'm trying to think of what guy that is.
Was it? I don't think it might be a different story. Let me see.
Yeah.
Because this guy does have a shotgun in this book. Like here, he's like pulling the shotgun off the shelf. This is Moose.
Okay, it might be a different guy.
Then down here, he's like, where is it at? Yeah, right here. He's like loading it up.
Okay, no, it was a different guy. I think he might have had a Viking helmet on or something like that.
Oh yeah, that was for my buddy Rick's book.
Okay.
This is Bull on the toilet. This is Bull right here. This is other henchman.
Nice.
So the Bull is he's ex-military, but he's kind of overweight. He's still got it, right?
Right.
But he's like he's one of those guys that's like I'm gonna solve all my problems with my firearm. Whereas Moose is more of like Daryl Dixon from like The Walking Dead, right?
Okay.
He's more of like the guy that's been raised out in the country, and he's more street smart than anything else.
Right.
So Moose, the guy with the hat with the little fishing lure on it, that's his right-hand man.
Okay.
When the butler needs to go somewhere and somebody needs to take over business, it's Moose. Moose is the one that comes up with the plans. Moose is the one that tells him, hey, boss, yes or no. This is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. The other guy is kind of like the whipping boy, like, go get the car kind of guy.
gopher.
Yeah. So those are his two henchmen. Extremely loyal. They're good friends, but even they themselves are not 100% comfortable around the Buckler. And
Yeah.
that comes up in book 2.
Okay.
Because that's because the book 1, the major theme in there is choice and family.
Okay.
And book 2 is going to be focusing really heavy on his dad issues, because he actually goes to the afterlife and talks to his dad.
Oh wow.
And that's going to be in let me see. Let's see if I have them with me here. Yeah. Because the Buckler gets shot in the back of the head at the beginning of the book. And he shows up, and as soon as he gets shot in the back of the head, he wakes up immediately right here in the afterlife.
Oh, that's, your watercolors are so good, man. Is that watercolor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
man.
he's like, what the fuck? That motherfucker just shot me. I'm dead. Then he has a conversation with Death, who is basically like an elk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking to Death, and Death gives him an opportunity to have some resolution. All this shit is happening in his head, right?
Okay.
He's basically just working shit out. He's working his own stuff out.
Right.
As the bullet is slowly working its way out of his head, because he's all hopped up on shit. He's not going to die from a small gunshot in the back of the head.
Right.
So as he's working that stuff out, he meets his father. He's dealing with that. So there's a lot of the dad issues, but also friendship is the major theme in the second book, because he in order to he gets kind of like really caught up in, like, I need to get back to talk to my dad.
Okay.
To get this shit in my basement out, right? I gotta figure this out. So his buddy's driving the car, his right hand man, Moose, right? Is the smart guy. And he's like, sorry, Moose, fucking just chucks him out of the car while he's driving. And then takes the car and does a header into the fucking pylon of a pier and dies again, and boom, he's back in the spirit world, But he shows up later, and Moose has a fucking cast on his hand, right? And he's like, so his Buckler starts to kind of feel some sort of way about the guy. So he's like, what am I doing? What am I doing, right? What choices, what life choices am I making? What life am I building now? Now that I'm back and I'm doing what I want and I'm taking what I think I deserve, what kind of life am I building? What kind of person am I building myself up to be? Okay. So he's struggling with that in book 2.
Okay.
Not only that, in book 2, in this little ash can where he fights when the Canadian Shield, my buddy's hero, kind of comes in and wrecks house, and this is the Buckler right here, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and the Canadian Shield rips off his cape in disgrace and tells him, you're not going to be a hero in this town no more. The Canadian Shield comes back.
Okay.
Because now the Buckler in book 2 is an established crime lord. It's been about 3 months, right? So now the Canadian Shield has come back. So I thought you were not supposed to be in this town anymore. What's going on? And the Canadian Shield is a fucking world breaker. Okay. Right? He's the kind of hero that can uproot a mighty oak and chuck it into space.
Yeah.
So the Buckler's going to have to handle this guy in book 2. So that's the main action in book 2, is going to be the Canadian Shield versus the Buckler. We got to get that out of our basement.
Right. So does the
Buckler, because that's causing resentment.
Right. Yeah. Does the Buckler know that the other guy's not strong, that he's not stronger than the other guy? Or
yes, he does.
Okay. And that's some, like, I got to beat him with my mind kind of a deal, or?
Right. He's going to try to find a way to beat him, and I think you're going to like the way it turns out.
Okay. So here's a question, quick one. So you put, what are all the media you like doing? So that was you got a couple big watercolor pieces in there. Do you mix that with your black and whites, or is that like for emphasis, or how does that work?
Well, you ever seen the movie What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams?
Yep.
Okay, so basically the afterworld is going to be like that, where he's just standing in a ever-changing painting.
You're using it. Oh, that's clever. As a, yeah.
So
good.
every instance where they're in the afterlife, it's all watercolor.
Okay, that's clever. Nice.
When you snap back to reality, now it's back to regular comic pages.
Okay.
Like this. Where's right here? I haven't gotten very far on it. This is page 2 for book 2. Like this is like the regular standard comic book
Okay.
style, right? So this will be the main portion of the book. But everything in the afterlife is all watercolor. And I also do some traditional painting. I don't know if I'm going to do the cover for this book. I want to get an artist named Cute Sexy Robots on Twitter to do my cover.
Okay.
I know they're crazy expensive, but I think it's going to be worth it. But I did the first cover to my book. I did a traditional acrylic painting for that.
Okay.
And it came out really nice. Well, here. That's I painted.
Yeah.
I hand painted that.
Yep. Do you have because I got such a kick out of it. You did oh my gosh. What was Nasser's book? You did a version of it and it just
Creepsters.
Creepsters there. Yep.
Yeah, I have like I was gonna sell some artwork. Like here's Bucklet. She's gonna be in book 2.
Okay. Nice.
An image of the buckler. But yeah, I have Creepsters right here. This is the character that I designed for Nasser. Did the book for.
Yeah. Wow, that's good stuff, man. You're black. You and Vic, man, you guys' black and white stuff is so solid. So solid, man. Yeah.
And guess what I'm drawing here?
Oh, is that yeah. I was gonna ask you about it because you flashed about the other night. We were talking DuckTales and Carl Barks and all that stuff.
Yeah. I wanted to do a Gizmo Duck drawing, but
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to play around. I want to do every page is going to be traditional, whether it's watercolor or whatever. But I want it to be really cool. I want this book to be the best thing I've done ever. And I don't know if that means that it's going to be left in black and white. I want to leave it in black and white, but I also kind of want to leave it in. I want to make it grayscale. So let me show you what I've been working on here. When I was, let me share my screen. When I put that picture out, right? I said, "Hey, anybody want to color this picture?" It was like the first page of the Buckler, book 2.
Okay, how do I?
I haven't shared it yet. Hold on.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Sorry, I was still getting the hang of this. Okay, how about that? There.
Oh, he kicked himself out. Rookie mistake.
There we go.
Hey, welcome back.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, you just go down to what it says, like, I'm presenting, and just flip present or show.
Show. Oh, boy. Dealing with a noob here. Show. Well, do I click on solo layout?
Like, do you see where it has the image that I'm sharing? It's like an extra image.
Oh, yeah.
Of my, click on that, like right in the middle of that. There you go.
There we go.
So I'm thinking of doing something like this, where I just do the whole thing in grayscale. I don't know. Let me show you what it looks like. It's like I don't know what's more impactful, this or this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if you'd want to. I want to give you my email address and have you send me something, and I want to zip-a-tone it out. I don't know. Like I think we've had, I've talked about this before. It's like, I'm really happy with my art style. I like my art style. It's not a super amazing style, but I feel like I'm pretty damn good at laying out zip-a-tone. And when I saw this thing, the first thing I thought about is like, man, I would love to get a hold of a copy of that just to throw my zips on it.
Yeah, I'll send you a copy of this, high res or something.
Yeah. I don't have a super amazing printer, but yeah, just
But the thing is, like, if I do it like this, I'm gonna lose some of that real impactful stark whites to stark blacks.
Mm-hmm.
But again, almost like with color, right? You get to see more things. More things get brought out when you add some toning in there. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I want to actually do that. I want to do a black and white with the lettering.
Yeah.
I want to do a gray tone with the lettering, and I want to do a colored page with the lettering. And I want to do two types of color. I want to do the one where it's just basically flats with a little bit of toning in there,
Mm-hmm.
and then a full-on digital color
Yeah.
with color holds and everything. You know what I mean? And see which one, get 4 images and see which one is the best.
Right.
You know, and then just go with that. What people respond to the most. Put a poll or something out there.
Man,
because I want to showcase off the line work. I want to, and even with just grayscale, the line work, it doesn't disappear, but it kind of fades into obscurity. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I really like seeing line work. So,
yeah, and that's that can be one of the problems. It's like sometimes you get caught up in making work that other artists like rather than like this is what people are going to buy kind of a deal. I think it's because I don't know, I think there's a lot of guys who, because they do it, they're like, oh man, why are you putting color on that? But I don't know. I mean, gosh, I don't know.
So I guess we'll see, right? I'll put a poll out. I'll do it. I'll do it nice. I'll do it right. You know, I'll make them as best as I can with all my skill and coloring and two types of colorings, grayscale and black and white, and really just see what people give them an option. What do you like the best?
Right.
And don't give me none of this, you know, reasons why. I know all the reasons why.
Right.
Just give me A, B, C, or D. Which one do you like the best? Which one would you pay for?
Well, I mean, okay, so your gut reaction, what would you do? I mean, what do you want to do?
Gut reaction, stark black and white.
Yeah. It will, and I think it would really work for that because you've done a really good job spotting your blacks, and I think when you were developing this, I think I jumped in the chat or I gave you bad time, like, don't you dare put color on that, and you're like, yeah, but how am I gonna vary the depth and everything? Well, you've done it, man. I mean, you've like the holding lines around those two different panels are really well done because there's a good black and white behind them, and then the main deal where the umbrella is white, and then you got the shadows on his muscles that are done well, and then the buildings in the background. I mean, you've really done a good job of varying your colors so that everything doesn't, you know, because I know what you're saying. If you don't do black and white well, it all washes out. You can't distinguish anything from anything else. But man, I think you've caught it right there, man. That's good stuff.
And basically, I don't want to go the route of doing the Frank Miller where it's like blocky. You know, I like some of this stuff. There's some really interesting stuff, especially in the old crime noirs or the old Will Eisner work. You know, but I don't want to start simplifying it. I still want it to have that, like, wow, what an impressive piece.
Well, and that's the thing that drives me crazy is like how many times you know you're working on something, you really think you've pulled something off, and you show somebody, and like you show somebody, and the first reaction is like, oh, that's like Frank Miller, and I'm like, damn it, that's. I'm trying to find my own voice here.
But the other way you don't want to go, right, is you spend a lot of time, you work on something that has a lot of detail and a lot of rendering, and you put a lot of time into it, and somebody says, what is it? I can't see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh God, it rips your heart out, you know?
Right.
Because some stuff you just can't see until there's color. So you have to really sit back before you put pen to paper and really plan out your layout, you know, in order to get everything just completely readable and concise.
Well, and something that completely appeals to how I look at things, there is one of the cartoonist kayfabe guys, Jim Rugg. He did that Octobriana where he did 3 versions of the book. He did like a 70s like 4-color process book. He did it like an 80s black and white explosion book, and then he did a blacklight poster book, but it's all the same story. and it's really amazing to read them side by side because the gray tones and the digital duo shade and some of that stuff, it really brings it out, but then sometimes the color catches it better. It's I don't know, it really appeals to me. I get kind of fanatical about my stuff. I redraw it probably too many times, but there's something that appeals to me about that. Yeah, just yakking to yak.
Oh, just to let you know, I got to go in about 6 minutes.
I was kind of wondering if, yeah. If you want to jump out now, man, that's fine. You got to.
No, I'll give you time to ask me these hard hitting questions.
Well, shoot, man. I don't know if I'm doing a good, interview. I just sit in your eyes aglow. Oh, tell me more, Dillard. Tell me more stories.
Yeah. This is what we got to do. We got to take this off here so we can really focus on the interview.
Oh, shoot, man.
Because what I want to do is I want to do it all black and white, right?
Yeah.
And I want to add a little bit of, just a little bit of grayscale in post, right? Just a little bit. Just go over it with a fine-tooth comb and make it perfect. If something's not completely readable, I'll go in there digitally and hatch in some more that I have to hatch in, just to make it, perfect.
Right.
After I scan it all in, the lettering's all there, and I look at it and say, there, it's done.
Yeah.
Then I want to do that. Then I want to do another same campaign, but have an additional artist edition where it's full size.
Oh, wow.
Because 3D Zach, the printer, he can print up to I think he can print up to like 17 by 14, like that big.
Okay.
So he can do 11 by 17, no problem.
That would be
so
awesome.
I think I want to do that. And then have that just the art, the raw art, no words, no nothing. And then you have it a double sized, right? So you'll
like
have
an artist edition. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have like here's all the first part of the book is all just the images, and then the second part is the images with the story.
Okay.
So I don't know how that's going to work in grayscale because the watercolor images are colored. So
Right.
It might work better though because it's like Wizard of Oz. You get your
Right.
black and white story, then he goes in the afterlife and it's in full color.
Yep.
I don't know.
Got a couple questions. And I guess I kind of intuited this without thinking about it. Your character design looks like it has a little bit of the Phantom in there. Was that a little bit of an influence, or did you just kind of happen to land on that path?
That happened completely by accident.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I just gave him what I thought would be a very simple costume to draw.
Okay.
Ended up being the Phantom, basically. He's just. But the thing is, his costume is even more simplistic than the Phantom's. The Phantom's actually has like some stuff on it. His doesn't. It's just plain red. There's a story, a 28-page one-shot that if you got the book, if you back the Buckler, you're getting this one-shot with it. Regardless, You get a separate comic book, 28 pages, called The Temple of Polar Twilight, which I drew. It's really slapdash. It's very not polished, right? But it's like a Bruce Timm style Batman animated series kind of deal.
Yep.
Where I just drew a quick story of the Buckler and how he got that big burn mark on his back, because he has them on his back. If you notice in some images, the shape of antlers, moose antlers.
Oh, was that from when he died?
No, it wasn't from when he died. It was from when he connected with this totem that he got in the Temple of Polar Twilight in that book. And so it gives him powers beyond the strength of three men, which is where you see this image, this promo image, right? This one here.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yep.
He sees it, or he sees it for the first time, and he's like, "Oh, hello there. Is that what that is?" Because when the powers first come to him, there's like ethereal moose antlers that just explode out of his back.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And you can see his heart's not doing too good. You got a little bit of the womp 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 womp. His heart's kind of going too fast, too hard.
That's great.
So it's this is going to be, but the thing is, he has it for about 5 minutes, and basically, if he doesn't get what he needs to get done in 5 minutes with his power, that's all his body can handle. I think camera's not focusing anymore.
Yeah, it's I think yeah.
Focus, you fuck.
Don't worry about it. Oh man.
Well, if he doesn't get his stuff done in 5 minutes, basically his heart gives out and he dies. So he needs to wrap it up as soon as that, because it's basically what I wanted to be. You ever played like a fighting video game?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to like 20% health, your body starts to glow red because now you got extra power
Yep.
because you're about to die. That's what's happening. Like he gets stabbed in the chest in the middle of a fight, right? It's like right in the heart, and it starts to give out, and he's about to die. And that's when a bolt of lightning will come and hit him with that extra last bit of strength. So that's gonna play in a little bit when it comes to his fight with the Canadian Shield.
I was just gonna, I was gonna ask about that. That's great.
So it's definitely not gonna be a long, drawn out fight. But
well, listen, that's how real fights are. You know, that's
right.
You know,
get about a good 9 seconds of fighting you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's what he's gonna have to work with. But I do gotta get out of here right now.
Yeah. Well, dude, thanks for the time, man. I this was really, really well, really quickly put together. I don't even have your link, man. Can you throw it in someplace?
To what? My channel?
Yeah. Can you throw it in the chat someplace?
Yeah. Let me go get it real quick. Hold on a second.
Yeah, because I got a computer that runs pretty well, but doesn't run a ton well. So yeah, anybody catching this on the replay, I'm hanging out with Dillard of Dillard Draws. Check out his channel. Check out his book at Indiegogo. It's The Buckler. Really, really good stuff. He's not funny at all and has no talent. So no, but a really funny guy.
I'm not funny. I have no talent, and I need your support. What is your channel's name?
Happy Jack Savinka. Shoot, let's see. I might be able to beat you to the struggle bus here.
Don't make me go through all this work and then you do it.
Okay. Okay.
Boom, live now. There I am. Look at me, I'm on the internet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link to my channel.
Okay. Yep.
There we go. That's my YouTube channel. More than anything, I would like you to subscribe to my channel and just share my channel out because I need growth on my channel. That's what I'm focusing on these next couple of months is just growing the channel.
Yep. You're right around 700 subs, right? Got to get you up to 1,000.
Definitely need that 1,000.
Yep. Now, do I need to throw that in someplace, or did you drop it in the YouTube chat?
I dropped it in the YouTube chat. That's
awesome.
My YouTube channel there.
Yeah.
So there should be 3 dots next to my name, and if you click on those, like if you hover over somebody's name, 3 dots will appear on the right hand side. You click those 3 dots, and you could say like go to channel or whatever, and subscribe, that kind of deal. I think you have to have a wrench, though. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll solve that right now. Dillard. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, go to your YouTube channel.
Yep, I'm there.
Not the one on StreamYards, but the one on YouTube.
Yep,
and then go to my name, go to the 3 dots, and click Add Moderator.
Okay, I don't see that you've.
Right, it didn't show up because I'm not a mod. If I had a wrench, I can drop links. I tried to drop a link right now and it didn't go through.
Yeah, yeah. Just type hi, and then I'll hit the three dots on the right side or something.
There I am.
Yeah, amateur hour. Woof. Dang it. Oh, there we go. Add moderator. There we go, boss man. Dillard Draws is now a moderator on your channel. All right.
There we go. There is my link to my channel. Yeah, hello. Yeah, I'm coming right now. Bye.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate you giving me the time, buddy.
Of
Keep
course,
doing good work.
absolutely.
Yeah.
If you want to interview me any other time, any other day, I'm always available to interview.
Well, then I'll bug you all the time then, because we have
There
all
you
kinds
go.
we got Duck comics to talk about, and definitely Ren and Stimpy, and
These are all things that I enjoy talking about. But I just got to go right now. I got to go get some dinner with my wife.
yeah. Go hang out with your family, man.
All right. Thanks for having me. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thanks for hanging out, buddy. All right, what a treat that was. What a treat that was. Definitely support Mr. John Dillard. So I guess we'll end on one of my vids here. Oop, add to stream. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with everybody. And yeah, Dillard's a good dude. Look forward to more streams with other peoples. So Artifice boys, I'm coming for you next. All right. See you later.
The month it came and it went, and I still ain't got more than a penny saved up yet. $500 that I hold for the rent, and I still ain't got more than a penny saved up yet. Ain't got no nickels, ain't got no dimes. Rent's due tomorrow and I'm all out of time. First of the month, it came and it went, and I still ain't got more than a penny saved up yet. $500 that I owe for the rent, and I still ain't got more than a penny saved up yet. Ain't got no nickels, ain't got no dimes. Rent's due tomorrow and I'm all out of time.